Let's color in your gray matter with this week's edition of Joe Pedotto's Anaglyph Jukebox, followed by our first guest, Stuart Warren-Hill. See you in a few minutes.
Welcome to today's edition of the ANAGLYPH Jukebox. You never know what you'll find on the old jukebox. Let's press B31. Okay, we've got Joe Kubert's Tor in 3D. Like his prehistoric hero Tor, Joe Kubert was a giant in his field. He passed away at 85 in 2012 and was, quote, the longest-lived continuously important contributor to the field, according to Paul Levitz, former president of DC Comics. He began in the industry at 16 in the 1930s, and Kubert kept drawing in his hospital bed during his final illness. He's best known for his work on characters like Hawkman, Sergeant Rock, Tarzan, and Enemy Ace. He founded the Kubert School of Graphic Art in Dover, New Jersey in 1976, and early in his career, he invented 3D comics. Joe Kubert came up with the idea of 3D comic books in early 1953 after having seen anaglyphs in German magazines during his war service during the year prior. He and his partner Norman Maurer wanted to capitalize on the fad for 3D movies just getting underway in Hollywood. The idea that Joe and Norman came up with was drawing the various layers of 3D on 12 by 18-inch cell acetate, like the ones used for hand-drawn animation at the time, then opaquing the line art on the back. Then they would shift the sheets left and right to create the illusion of depth and hold them in place with registration punch marks in the acetate. One position for the right eye and one for the left. They could produce up to 6 levels of depth with this approach. They also used craft tint board for their backgrounds. Craft tint has 2 hidden duotones, one lighter and one darker, that are revealed when brushed with special developing liquids. This added texture and density to their pages. Norman got in touch with his brother Leonard, who had comprehensive knowledge about printing technology. Over the course of a single day, Joe produced a 3D sample of his caveman character Tor, and Norman did a Three Stooges page. Norman Maurer was married to Joan Howard, the daughter of Mo Howard, so his contribution had a family connection. Len Maurer worked for Supreme Knitting Needles on Long Island, and he drove out there from Manhattan that night, opened up the print shop, and produced the first sample page. But they had no glasses to view their completed work. So they went out and bought lollipops wrapped in colored cellophane, lime for the green and cherry for the red, and made their first pair of anaglyph glasses from those wrappers. They showed the samples to Archer St. John, and he immediately bought the idea. He wanted to convert his entire line of comics to 3D. Since St. John had licensed the Mighty Mouse character, the first American 3D comic book was 3-Dimension Comics No. 1, starring Mighty Mouse, cover dated September 1953. The first issue was a conversion job of existing flat art. This first printing of 1 million copies sold out. A second printing of 1.5 million copies also sold out. This at a time when a normal print run of a comic book was 300,000 copies. 3-Dimension Comics No. 1 also cost 25 cents for 32 pages compared to ordinary flat comics at 10 cents for 32 pages. In contrast, today Superman sells a mere 55,000 copies a month and is considered successful. Joe and Norman applied for a patent for what they called 3D Illustereo. They named their company American Stereographic Corporation. Kubert and Maurer both bought themselves new Buicks with the first proceeds. However, with a market this lucrative, other publishers decided to forego a license from American Stereographic on the 3D Illustereo process and work out an acetate method of their own. Soon, DC, Harvey, Dell, and others flooded the market with good, bad, and mediocre 3D comic books, from just 3 levels to as many as 7 levels of depth in every genre imaginable. About 50 individual books. The whole phenomenon lasted only 9 months and sputtered to an end in 1954. Joe Kubert went back to making great 2D comics for the next 60 years.
That was great. Thank you once again. And we'll give it the... Could you imagine that? You know, Joe, you can plug your ears because I don't want you to be getting too much of a star here, but imagine the work that goes into that and how unique that is. This is the first series like that exists this way in 3D. It's incredible, and it's been fantastic. And by the way, here we go. We're going to keep moving, but thank you again, Joe, for all your work. We got so much coming with it. What a prolific, wonderful artist. Now you can unplug your ears. Hey, look what I got. And they actually work. They actually do. You know, I've been wandering around Times Square remembering the old Times Square with these on, and it's just incredible. You can actually see through it. It's incredible. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but remember the old Times Square. This will take you back. Oh, now our next guest, I just want to show you something. There's an article. If I think they've got these in PDF right now. If you can go back to the volume 42, which would have been 2016, July, August, where Rosalie Chandler, our secretary at that time, our former secretary, wonderful job she did in slapping us into shape. I don't know how we managed without her, but we're doing the best we can. Now this actually explains a little bit about what some of the work that our next guest did. Of course, we hadn't known each other at the time. It's just one of those coincidences. Actually, good ideas spread around, and work that he does is so incredible that when I saw it, I was amazed. And Rosalie wrote a nice article, and I'll explain something tied into that too at the end. But so it is. Okay, now we don't have enough time, which of course I'm spending, to dig into all of the things that Stuart Warren-Hill has been up to. So he's promised a return visit along the way. Now, give me one moment. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a chorus for you. So again, anyway, he promised a return visit. So, Stuart and I were at many of the same events along the way, which is even funnier, you know, and we just kept missing each other. Now, you may question if this effect can be that engaging that you're about to see, and it's incredible. But I've seen it for myself. And, well, you all believe Johnny Laser, don't you? Be that as it may. Some of his work, although it's in 2D, it leverages the brain's reliance on stereo cues. But make no mistake about it, he leverages all of the things that we understand about presenting stereoscopic images, and he's branded them into his own unique way. I'll let him explain in greater detail. He's coming to us now from the UK. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome to NYSA Presents, Stuart Warren-Hill.
Hi everyone, greetings from United Kingdom. I hope you're all well. I was going to share my screen and tell you about myself. So my name's Stuart Warren-Hill. I'm the founder of Hexstatic and more recently the founder of Holotronica Limited. I'm going to give you a very brief history, so bear with me. Back in '97, I worked with Cold Cut and Greenpeace and created a video called Timber, which was a cut and paste video, audio-visual video, which did very well. And the guys are going to supply links for all these videos, I think, on the website, so you can have a look at these in your own time. But this was an award-winning video. I won Best Editing in Cannes in South France. This led to me getting a record deal with Coldcut's label Ninja Tune, and I created the world's first audiovisual album, Rewind, which every track had a video connected to the music. I don't think there'd been anything like that before. So there's a lot of synchronized video, painstaking work, which was a great success. And we toured the world doing audiovisual shows. Then when we did the next album, I wanted to take it a step further. So we created a Master View, which was a DVD. Most of the videos were 3D and 2D, and you could choose to watch either in ANAGLYPH or normal 2D. It was again a very painstaking, with a very low budget, as all my stuff was, and we just made it happen. It was just an awful lot of work. It's amazing what you can do. When you've got a computer and time, you can do some great stuff. So there was a video called Pulse on this album, and I'll take the sound right down. But it was very synchronized, very sculptural. When the other stuff I'd done would have been very cut and paste video to make the music. This is more making a piece of music and having sculptural visuals. And this was this isn't ANAGLYPH you're seeing here, but it was you could watch it in ANAGLYPH. So the reason I'm showing this one is because I thought, this is really cool, and I think this idea could become a new project, like a 3D project, a holographic project. It's music's very much electronica, and I'm going to start a new project called, I'm going to combine holograms with electronica, and I created Holotronica as a new album project.
Now, Stuart,
yes.
What drew you initially to 3D? Because I want to get to this, but I maybe give people a quick.
I've always been interested in 3D. I want to have a heightened experience, and it's about what I do is I combine is experimenting with how music and visuals come together. So it's all and so I'm kind of you got the music, you got the visuals, and you've got the technology. It's the three things are part of what I do. That's like the world I'm in. So I'm just trying to advance all the time. So it was a natural step to go from 2D, from mono to stereo. It just seemed like a completely natural step forward. So
when did you first experience 3D? I mean, as a kid, when did that become something that got stuck in your head? Pardon the pun.
Yeah, I remember seeing on the TV in the 1970s some Radio Times would give ANAGLYPH glasses on the cover, and they'd show a film. I can't remember what the film was. I think that happened a few times over the years. There was like little buzz about 3D, and like everyone got into the idea of 3D, and the whole nation would watch these films in England with 3D glasses on, and it would be either blue, green, red, blue, whatever it was, and Paul Frick effect. I think we went for a whole range of things you could do with on TV broadcast. So I think I'm pretty sure that would have been what got my interest into it. And just being a visual guy, I was just doing psychedelic visuals and VJing in nightclubs and stuff like that. So it's like, how can you heighten your experience in a nightclub, and enhance your enjoyment?
So that bug was in your bonnet then, right? So now,
yeah.
When did that? Okay, so you remembered as a kid, so you move along, and it's hard. We all know, everyone that's watching right now realizes the difficulty of doing anything in 3D. So at one point you decide, I'm going to take the challenge and pull, and with other technologies around, I'm going to try to make this work. When did that moment happen?
Well, I think it was around the time of doing the Rewind album and thinking about what's new. I'm totally self-taught anyway, and I just would have taught myself how to do 3D. And we started doing ANAGLYPH shows when we released the album, around the time, and they were a lot of fun doing those shows. It's just great having the whole audience in you know, wearing glasses, it kind of brought everyone together, I thought. And our shows were good fun as well. So this is the other sort of more sculptural track off that Master View album called it's called That Track, which isn't very inspirational, but we couldn't think of a name of it. And I said, I think you know, it's one of those silly things. It's just got called That Track. This is a bit of a low res version, but there you go. This is all done in After Effects. At this point, I wasn't using Cinema 4D to any great thing, so I had to use After Effects, which was a lot of processing. If anyone uses After Effects, to create this in After Effects was a bit of a nightmare.
Now, how did you learn the tool set that's needed to actually do good 3D? Because what you're doing is really great. So you know, all the little details that make it complicated. Just go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, this actual video was all done with flat planes. It's all like just you know, flat planes all combined together in 3D space. So I would do it a lot differently now in Cinema 4D. But I used you know, I was able to take the music and get that to control the movements of the shapes. You know.
Well, I'm going to get off this in a minute because I'm drilling in, but I'm not hitting any oil. So,
okay.
What books? What reason? You must have had a resource because I learn everything by myself too, but I basically find people or find organizations or kind of dig in. I read and I go and try to make it happen. So,
well, YouTube. I've learned so much on YouTube. Basically, I've probably learned a lot from YouTube and the internet, finding out what I can. You know, just searching until you find what you want, and then you just have to search for it and find out how to do it. And I probably had to work out some new techniques on my own to make that work in After Effects. Like with doing the timber stuff, I had to work out a technique of using Adobe Premiere like a music production suite. You know, it wasn't made for that. It was like you know, I had to create my own way of working. So it seems like I'm always doing that anyway. You know, I had to build my own 3D rig in After Effects, which I think you probably can get that now, but then it didn't exist.
So you basically zen'd your way in. Okay. That's I understand that approach completely. That's so some landmines there, but yes.
But you know, I've been working commercially on as well of all this. There's been a whole other world where I've been doing commercial work to fund all this stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. But my main thing is combining music and visuals. And I'm just always experimenting how that's going to be, you know, how they can come together. So, and I'm not stopping. I'm just doing it more and more.
Nor do we want you to stop. Now no, really, it's beautiful work. And as everyone starts to look at it, you know, you can. I think we'll have a link, but you can find that. I think if you go to Stuart's website, which will get put in the link, you can find that Blu-ray. And as I say, Stuart, you can close your ears around. Here's the thing: always support. You know what I say every time. Just support anyone doing 3D. Just do it. Even if you don't have a Blu-ray player, use it as a beer coaster. Doesn't matter.
We've actually, as you can see here, we've got the new album is for sale on the website, and it's actually an ANAGLYPH DVD as well. The best way to view it though is as a Blu-ray. So I got Sony to actually master this for me, so it's really good quality.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Share your screen. I knocked you off.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I felt the need for ANAGLYPH, so I went off.
Cool. Okay. So I was saying the 3D Blu-ray is the best way to view it, and the DVD has ANAGLYPH videos on it as well. But obviously, because of the colors, there's a lot of reds and blues in the images. So you know, it's not as good as the Blu-ray.
This is your later work, then. This is after Rewind, correct?
So this was after the Master View album. After a while, you know, after doing Hexstatic for 15 years or something, I wanted to go solo and do my own thing. And I decided that I wanted to make the world's first 3D album. The Master View album not every track was 3D. I did try, but I ran out of time. So this was the first pure sort of 3D album. I don't think anyone else has done that. So every track is very tightly synchronized with sound. I'll just quickly show you one of the videos off of here. Sorry, it's a bit loud. This is in ANAGLYPH as well, so I'll go full screen. So
well, I'll say this much. That's like that was a great commercial for ARP. It's unfortunate that it came 42 years too late.
Yeah. Well, I basically went and I bought this synthesizer, and I got it home and I plugged it in and I started making sounds of it, and I made this track in a day. I was so excited to have it because I've wanted it for so many years, you know. And I made this track purely, all the sounds are made from it. It's only a monophonic synthesizer, so I made a bass drum and a snare, and so that whole track is just that synthesizer, and then we modeled it and, you know, added elements that were synced to the sounds and stuff.
That's excellent. Now, most people, I'm sure many people don't realize that ARP was a synthesizer company in the 70s, and we discussed before, went out of business in the early 80s. But they were, that was a popular synthesizer, and they had the guitar synthesizer, which, as you said, probably took them out of business. Which I saw actually demonstrated at the Waldorf Astoria for the first time. The ARP Avatar, right?
That's right. Yeah, I think that might have finished them off. But I collect synthesizers. So this Holotronica project the rule was that we had like sculptural graphics that were synchronized with like analog synthesizers and drum machines that I collected. So there was no sampling like my earlier stuff. It was all pure analog synth stuff. And it's like Holotronica. And then with the name Holotronica, as I said earlier, it's electronica and holograms, but also it's the Holotron was the projector for Princess Leia in Star Wars. That's what R2-D2's hologram projector was called, the Holotron. And obviously, shorten it even still, you got Tron in there as well, which is a big inspiration for a lot of the graphics on the album. So it's like a retro futuristic album in 3D. So which kind of leads me on to, like, you know, luckily 3D Blu-ray came along, so I actually had a way of releasing it, you know, properly. But then, like, how the hell was I going to project it, or how was I could present it on stage? And I didn't know how. While I was making the album, I didn't have a way, and I had to invent something to do that.
Now drum roll, please. Now we're getting to the meat. We'll get. You know what? You got all those synthesizers. Hey, man. I should have worked that out with you already. We need like a drum roll here. So
yeah.
Hologos. Yes, let's get to that, because I think the audience is going to love that. Yes. So
Hologos. So not many people know about the album, but a lot of people know about the Hologos is the thing that took off, and it's basically what happened was it was a bit of making the album took a long time, and quite a few things happened to get to the point of Hologos. So In 2009, I won the Musion Academy Award, so I entered a competition to win a Pepper's Ghost hologram system, the likes of which was used for like Tupac and stuff like that. And I won this award, and I won the whole setup. So I did a show down at the South Bank at the BFI in London with this £50,000 setup, which is amazing. And then the following year, I did a Holotronica show that was stereoscopic in the National Film Theatre. And then I had a show in London, and I just like, oh my God, I can't afford to get any of these systems for this show. And it was a big show, and it was packed. And I literally I thought, well, I'll try and make a hologram effect by using a scrim, which is people have been using scrims theatre and stuff and for VJing for years. And
I don't want to cut you off, but just 1 second. This way we can keep it. Because what you get, right. You're sharing the screen now, but could you put up one shot of like something from the Holocaust? So when you're talking, we can, because it'll it'll be more interesting. Yes.
Okay, so I did this show. This is a later show, but you can see the transparency of the screen. I invented for this show back in 2013. I nothing existed that would work with the polarized glasses that retain polarization, and I thought, I need a silver mesh. So I actually went out and just got one made, and the night before the show in London, it all came together in my front room. Literally put this test screen up. We got the glasses were delivered from China. I had to get a load of glasses, thousands of glasses. 2,000 pairs of glasses, and the projectors arrived. I hired the projectors, so it cost me a lot of money, but I set it up the night before the show, and it worked. It was amazing. It was like a proper eureka moment. And you can see here, there's me behind the screen, and this is, so you've got hologaules across the front of the stage, and stereoscopic visuals projected onto it with 2 projectors. And polarized glasses and polarized filters, passive. And from the audience viewpoint, that lunar lander is actually at the back of the stage. Doesn't show it here, but you can imagine there's a lot of depth. You can have an awful lot of depth going on.
Can you zoom in on that a tiny bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Also, could we cue, that little video? We have that queued up, right? Could we run that?
Yeah. I'm just about to do that.
I think we got it. That's going to help everybody.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll just I'll run the video.
Oh, do you have it, Dave? Do you have it, DB? Do you have it queued up, that one, or no?
Yeah, I've got it. Sorry.
Okay, but expand your screen, because we kind of run them a little better. Nope. Sorry.
Cut a long story short, I after 2 years of showing, word of mouth got out, and when I finally launched the product in 2014, it was at Lord of the Dance at London Palladium. Michael Flatley, there was 3 Michael Flatleys on stage dancing together, doing a whole routine. That was like amazing. And then at the end of the September, that was the beginning of the September, I was at Madison Square Garden for the Eric Pridge show. You can see we had a 20-meter wide screen here. I'll just show you the setup. So here's the screen here, being set up here. So you can see the screen here, but under correct lighting conditions, it completely disappears. And I'm going to show you the showreel now, which is more up to date.
Well, I'm going to pop in real quick, maybe, and show the ANAGLYPH version of like that screen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That I took. This is one of the times that Stuart and I just kind of ships passing in the night. He was there somewhere, and of course, you'll never miss me again, will you?
No.
and nor are you. This is pretty much what shows up every time. So
yeah.
So
okay. We're back again.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Do we have a way? Paul, 1 second. Do we have a way to show his clip so it fills the whole screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, do you want me to share this thing?
DB,
when he shares videos, he does the full screen. Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
Do I need to share again now?
Yeah, because I stole your.
Hold on.
Yep.
Your share. Oh, okay, Dave. Oh, okay.
Now, folks, this is 2D, by the way. That's great. Now, thank you. What happened to the one with Laurel and Hardy? That was my favorite.
Oh, well,
that kind of really showed. I thought that did a better job of explaining because it.
Oh, you want to be shown that was the Holocaust showreel. There's a thing I made of myself doing a talk, but that's really to be shown on the Holocaust.
Because I thought that would explain the Holocaust. Because to me, it seems to make it clear. Because I'm just trying to get it into everybody's head. Because I think it's a bit of a.
Okay. Well, you know,
I can play that. I can cue that up. And,
yeah, could you do that?
Yeah, and
I got it. I've got it ready, John.
Okay, thank you.
But hold on a second. So I think it's pretty important for us to point out that that it was built for polarized 3D projection, but then what it took off in, it was in 2D. Do you want to talk about that, Stuart?
So yes, the I invented it for 3D. So I thought it had a very limited market, and but when we did this Eric Prydz show, well, I knew this already, but when we did this Eric Prydz show, this 20-meter wide thing kind of drew out on the screen, and I was, from a distance, it was just totally 3D. It just looked 3D. I think the brain, when something is floating in air, it tricks the brain into thinking it's actually a three-dimensional object there from a distance. So that kind of blew my mind. I just thought, wow, you know, this is it. This is going to be fantastic as this 2D product. You know, and then, you know, got used by Beyonce and Lady Gaga. This was amazing. Lady Gaga, you know, David Bowie had just died, and she changed the whole show at the last minute. And then she was wearing these LED rings, and they were being tracked by a computer, and they were emanating smoke on. She's behind Holocaust here, as Beyonce is. David Bowie's head just formed into this kind of misty cloud that was coming from her hands above. So this is probably the most amazing thing that happened.
Wow. Well, that proves what Gaga wants, Gaga gets.
Gaga got it, and
yeah.
She certainly got it. And you know, again, it proves that as a 2D medium, it's great, you know, and it's hardly used. I mean, I'm the only one really using it for stereoscopic 3D, which is a real shame. So I'll be very interested if anyone wants to try it out, you know, with stereoscopic, because that is actually what it's designed for. And people can help me and make it improvements and stuff. I'm totally open to that. You know.
Well, you're definitely speaking to the right bunch.
Absolutely, yeah. It's nice to sort of be in this crowd actually, because a lot of people don't understand it, you know, and you know, it's for me, it's where it's at, you know, 3D.
I can't wait to play. I can't wait to play around with it. This is really amazing. Now, yeah, like he was saying, and again, that's how I experienced it. It absolutely has enough depth cues, and you've got the dark and the arena, and just it's. As we all know, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be stereoscopic. The brain does a lot of that heavy lifting, and as far as you're concerned, it's convincing. And as far as the audience is concerned, 100%. I mean, they got it, you know.
Yeah.
Dave, do you want to go ahead and play that video, and then we'll put the music down, and then Stuart, maybe you can just
excellent, great idea.
Talk to what happens on here. So this is your studio, right?
This is my last studio. My new studio is a lot nicer. This is
Sound of Holotronica Limited. I'm sorry I'm not here to speak with you in person, but I thought what better way to speak to you about hologram effects than by presenting it to you on my invention, HoloGauze.
Hold on 1 second. So now I could see your shadow down there.
Highly reflective.
Yeah,
I can see the projector. What is that?
Yeah, so the projector's above, and I'm projecting down, so you can see the spill is going onto the floor behind. So that's part of the magic trick, is to try and hide that, really. So obviously I haven't done a fantastic job of it here, but you can use lighting and black drape or something to absorb the light and to disguise it. You can also go upwards, so you can project up into the ceiling through the doors.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
You can do it that way.
And the screen is right in front of the camera. Is that like stretched across?
That's right. Yeah, I'm behind it.
People on stage like myself now, also for bringing back your favorite.
About how big is the weave on that?
It's about 1 millimeter. It's very small. I don't know what that is in inches, but it's very small. And it's, as I say, it's a silver screen, so it's yeah, it's quite expensive to manufacture, but it works so well with video. The contrast and the color, and the viewing angle and everything is really good. And the transparency is the main thing. That's the magic. You know, the magic is in its high transparency. With any other scrim, this is like the most transparent scrim in the world. You know.
Hey, listen, I love the video, but I really wanted to see Laurel and Hardy again. I needed a dose.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's making my week. That's the second
time.
Well,
you need to get me over to do a show. You know, I'll do a 3D show for you.
Be amazing. Make your donations to the NYSA now.
Get them right over.
Yeah. Apologies for my poor acting.
You're great, man.
It was a bit tongue-in-cheek.
No, you pulled it off. It's excellent. You don't think so, but it's perfect.
And you say in this presentation, it's a live presentation and the people have 3D glasses?
Well, this is a 2D presentation. Yes, this is both. So we don't have the whole thing, but when this, I actually made this because I had they wanted me to go out to do a talk in Amsterdam at a big exhibition, and I made this so they could just project. I traveled, you know, I just sent them the clip, and then they set it all up really well. So it did that 2-dimensional bit you just saw, and then I say, well, put on your 3D glasses, because this is like the special part of HoloGauze that a lot of people don't know about. Yeah, so then they put their glasses on, and then it switches into stereoscopic. And then, so you get that. That's the full demonstration. Then, you know.
And just a question about that. Can you go into screen space and into theater space? Like, how does that transition occur, or is that something? You know what I'm saying? Can you go into the beyond, behind it, and in front of it? Is what I'm trying to say.
What in 3D?
Yes. Sorry.
So, yeah, of course. Yeah, you can go way beyond the back of the stage and up to your face wherever you are. So you could be very far away and still have images coming up to you. What's amazing is, like, say with a star field, for instance, that's coming
You can
towards
pull
you.
it right through.
But
Yeah,
it's in the air because the screen's invisible. It's an invisible 3D screen. It's better than IMAX in a way because it's just the objects are in the air. Yeah, it's really far out.
Yeah. How close can you get before it starts to be a problem? Where you can see the weave is 1 millimeter, so you never really see that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, about 10 feet away or something.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
12 feet, I'd say minimum sort of thing.
There was a question in the chat too about do you project polarized 3D from the front or the back of the scrim, or do both work?
So sorry, could you say that again?
Do you project the polarized 3D from the front or the back of the scrim?
Okay, yeah. So it's a front projection scrim because it's silver plated and yeah, it's brighter from the front. So
Interesting. Wow. Now, I unless there's other questions, I don't want to. I want to drill more into this as we move along. But unless you have other stuff to say, did you discuss timber at all? Did you?
yeah, I briefly talked about that earlier. Yeah. I mean, that's probably another chat maybe.
No, it's a good thing for people to watch because there's the evolution of this. If you go to Timber, you see what he's accomplished. It's 2D, but it's a very interesting video. You can kind of move along. Hopefully, this stuff is in the
quite pioneering at the time, which is 1997, when computers were much slower than they are now. And I think Adobe Premiere had just come out. It was version 1, and so I had a tool to start editing. Instead of trying to do this on tape would have been a nightmare, because it was in the computer. I was able to do something a bit special with it.
How much espresso coffee and donuts did you go through for that?
It's all a nice cup of English tea.
Oh, look at you being a gentleman.
we drank a lot of tea in my time.
Yeah, I'm thinking. There's a lot of times the sun came up while you were working. I'm thinking. Yeah, that's great. I think we covered a lot. Unless you have something you want to dig into deeper, or people have other questions, they can save those. I think for the chat. I think that's for the after party. I think that's really where the rubber will hit the road. But I'd like to.
I have one thing I just wanted to ask. So it looks like Stuart's always working on the next thing. So what's next for Stuart Warren-Hill?
I've just done a couple of new projects. One is called Vequencer, which is on YouTube. It's a YouTube project, really, which is a VR 180 with 3D sound. And I've always wanted to do, for many years, wanted to do a video installation. Oh, great. A video installation. And you can move it. You can move the screen around. Can you move the screen? Yeah, there you go. So 8 screens all working together, 8 different clips to make track. I've done 9 of these. I'm going to do some more, hopefully. So VR is so good now that I just thought, I don't need to put this in a gallery. I can create my own gallery. So that's what I did.
And this is 3D on in VR or in a cell phone, mobile phone.
Yeah.
Right, stereo.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed making that and learning how to do each of those speakers in there. So the sound is directional. So as you turn your headphones on, it's a 3D sound. The sound sort of changes in your headset as you look towards different screens. And it's going back to what I was doing with Timber, basically. And Natural Rhythm was another video I made around that time, using natural animals. This is kind of going back to that. So I've kind of come full circle, but with a next level technology,
Well, that's how. Thank you for that. That's actually VR is how Stuart and I met. We wouldn't bump into each other in reality. We kept missing, but he was wandering into our 3D, the New York Stereoscopic Association's VR space. Bumped into Jay Cosnets, and next thing you know, he's here. So brilliant. Yeah, I just love how that all connected. It's so 21st. It's the kind of 21st century I was thinking of as a kid. The rest didn't work out so great, but that is it. It's just amazing, and how it all just tied in that way. And now you're here. And now you're one of us, for better or for worse, pal. But when you get over here, we'll give you the branding and the piercing and that. But that's a whole other story. I really thank you for your time. You would, because I know it's late over there. So this is gonna.
It's okay.
Don't worry, I'll cover the tea. Whatever it costs, I'm in. So everyone, please, we all know what it's time for. Thank you for your brilliance. That really is a motivation for everyone out there who thinks different. You know, that's the force multiplier of people like yourself. You know, who think different, and amazing things can happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he'll of course Stuart will stick around for a while until he runs out of tea, and we'll be going until about 4:30. Before we end, here is a video I shot at MSG where I narrowly missed meeting him, as you may have heard me say a million times. You can get some idea about the experience, but I was really trying to capture the laser, so I didn't do the hologauze as much justice as I could have, because I was really there for the lasers. But you're going to get an idea of what the power of this is, and it's in 3D. It's an ANAGLYPH. Now the laser's being run by. I don't want to be a downer, because listen, folks, we're all walking each other home. So they were being controlled by a good friend of mine. So another coincidence occurred this week. Mark Nash. Now Mark, who is also in the article that Rosalie covered, was a good friend, a great, unbelievably great, talented, as you're going to see in a minute, laserist, as we called him. And suddenly last week he passed away at the age of 39. So, folks, enjoy Mark's laser work and the brilliant addition. Of course, Everett Pritz too, but that's another story. But Stuart's great work, and so that's kind of where I want to leave off. Many thousands of people enjoyed Mark's work, and as for me, in a little while, I'll be heading back over to Central Park, because time marches on. Things keep moving. So come back next week to see what you've been missing in 3D. If you want to run that video anytime. Now we'll be signing on. We'll move into the after party. You'll get the credit roll in a minute. My clock keeps stopping. I figured we were at 20 after 3. Whoops. Yipes. Okay. Anyway, folks. Well, it's 20 after 3. Nowhere. It's 5 to 4 here. But anyway, thanks again. See you for a few minutes in the after party. I will have changed into Johnny Laser that needs to be in a car and get off the place. Thank you so much again, Stuart. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Cool.
And you can roll the credits if you will.